Welcome to English MindTalk, where real conversations change the way you think.
I'm Jessie.
And I'm Tom.
Today, we need to talk about something people feel, but rarely say out loud.
You told me before recording that this topic made you uncomfortable.
Yeah, because how do you even talk about war in English without sounding cold or political or wrong?
Interesting. You didn't say difficult, you said wrong.
Because it feels like there's always a correct opinion people expect, and I'm scared of saying something insensitive.
That fear is actually where real conversation begins.
Really? Because my instinct is silence.
Most people choose silence when emotions are complicated.
I remember watching the news once. They showed people leaving their homes with one suitcase. And I thought, how do you describe that in words? They escaped? They migrated? None of it felt enough.
Language struggles when reality becomes too heavy.
Exactly. And when someone asks, what do you think about war? I freeze. My brain goes blank.
That's because war isn't just a topic, it's human pain compressed into a word.
See? That sentence already sounds smarter than anything I could say.
It's not about sounding smart, it's about sounding human.
But English conversations online feel intense. People argue. People attack each other.
Because many conversations about war become debates instead of understanding.
So how do normal people talk about it?
Usually by talking about feelings first, not opinions.
Feelings?
Yes, instead of saying, this side is right, people naturally say, it makes me sad, or I feel worried when I see this.
That sounds safer.
It's also more honest.
I think the problem is, I feel like I don't know enough facts, so I think I shouldn't speak at all.
That's a very common fear in English conversations.
Because English feels like a serious language sometimes, like everything must be perfect.
But everyday English is imperfect. People hesitate, they search for words.
So it's okay to say, I don't fully understand, but I feel...
That is one of the most natural sentences you can use.
I wish someone told me that earlier. In school, discussions about war felt like history exams.
Dates, battles, leaders.
Yes, names I forgot immediately.
But when people talk casually, they rarely discuss strategy or politics. They talk about humanity.
Like families, fear, safety.
Exactly.
I noticed something strange, though.
What?
I see videos of people living normal lives during conflict, drinking tea, laughing with friends. It confuses me.
Because you expect constant tragedy.
Yes, I almost feel guilty seeing normal moments.
Humans continue living even in chaos. That's survival.
So when speaking English, instead of dramatic words, simple observations work better?
Yes. For example, it's hard to imagine living like that.
That sounds real.
Real conversation invites empathy, not performance.
But what if someone strongly disagrees with you?
Then conversation becomes listening practice.
Listening practice?
Many English learners think speaking is the goal, but difficult topics require understanding tone, emotion, and intention.
I think people fear saying the wrong word more than having the wrong thought.
Language anxiety.
Exactly. Sometimes I want to express sympathy, but I don't know how.
You can say simple phrases, my heart goes out to them, or I can't imagine what they're going through.
Those feel gentle.
Because they focus on people, not positions.
I realize something now.
What?
I realize when I hear native speakers talk about war casually, they don't sound dramatic. They sound reflective.
Reflection shows emotional maturity.
I once heard someone say, war always looks different when you're far away from it.
That's a powerful observation.
And it stayed with me because I am far away.
Distance changes perspective.
Do you think people who never experienced war talk about it differently?
Often, yes. They speak with imagination instead of memory.
That sounds deep.
Imagine describing fire without ever feeling heat.
You know what scares me?
Tell me.
How quickly people online turn suffering into arguments.
Social media rewards certainty, not empathy.
And uncertainty feels weak online.
But in real conversations, uncertainty feels honest.
So saying, I'm still trying to understand, is actually strong English communication?
Very strong.
That makes me feel relieved.
Why?
Because I don't want to sound like an expert, I just want to sound human.
That's the secret of meaningful English conversations.
Can I confess something?
Of course.
When I was younger, war felt like a movie concept to me. Explosions, heroes, clear endings.
Stories simplify reality.
Then I grew up and realized wars don't end cleanly.
They leave emotional echoes.
Emotional echoes. I like that phrase.
People carry memories long after headlines disappear.
Maybe that's why conversations about war feel heavy. You're not just discussing events, you're touching invisible memories.
Exactly.
So if someone shares a personal story, the best response isn't analysis.
It's presence.
Presence feels harder than speaking.
Because silence requires courage.
I notice I want to fill silence quickly when conversations become emotional.
Many people do. Silence feels uncomfortable.
But maybe silence is respect.
Often, yes.
I'm realizing English conversation isn't about perfect sentences. It's about emotional timing.
That's beautifully said.
I didn't expect to feel emotional recording this episode.
Emotional topics reveal hidden feelings.
Do you think talking about war changes how we see our own lives?
Absolutely.
How?
It reminds us how fragile normal life is.
That sentence makes me pause.
Why?
Because this morning I complained about slow internet.
And suddenly, that feels small.
Not meaningless, just small.
Perspective doesn't erase problems, it reshapes them.
I think English learners sometimes avoid serious topics because they feel vocabulary isn't enough.
Yet, serious topics often require simpler words.
Like fear, home, loss.
The most powerful words are usually short.
I never thought about that.
Complex grammar rarely creates emotional connection.
Simple truth does.
Exactly.
Can I ask something personal?
Go ahead.
Have you ever felt afraid while watching news about conflict?
Yes,
Even if it was far away?
especially then.
Why especially?
Because distance reminds you that safety isn't guaranteed anywhere forever.
That's unsettling.
Reality often is.
Sometimes I turn off the news because I feel helpless.
That's a human reaction.
But then I feel guilty for looking away.
Many people live between awareness and emotional protection.
Is it okay to say in English, I don't know how to process this?
That's a very natural sentence.
I like that it admits confusion.
Confusion invites conversation.
I think that's why people listen to podcasts like this. Not for answers, for shared thinking.
Shared thinking reduces loneliness.
Loneliness. That word connects surprisingly well to war.
How so?
Even surrounded by people, conflict seems isolating.
Because uncertainty separates people emotionally.
I imagine waking up not knowing what tomorrow looks like.
Humans crave predictability.
And war removes that.
Completely.
Maybe that's why listeners struggle to talk about it. They're trying to describe something unpredictable using structured language.
That tension creates hesitation.
Which explains why conversations start with phrases like, I don't know how to say this, but...
One of the most authentic openings in English.
I use that sentence all the time.
Because honesty lowers pressure.
You know what I noticed recently?
What did you notice?
People often ask, who started it, before asking, who is suffering?
That reveals priorities.
And maybe conversation changes when the question changes.
Exactly.
If someone asks me about war now, maybe I'd start differently.
How?
Maybe I'd say, I just hope people are safe.
Simple, human, real.
It feels less like debate and more like care.
Care builds connection faster than knowledge.
I'm starting to understand why this topic felt scary.
Why?
Because it forces vulnerability.
And vulnerability is rarely taught in language learning.
We learn vocabulary lists, not emotional expression.
Yet emotional expression is what people remember.
I remember conversations where someone spoke imperfect English, but sincere feelings.
And those conversations stay with you.
Always.
Because meaning matters more than accuracy.
I wish more learners knew that.
Maybe they're learning it right now.
I hope so.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
When you imagine talking to someone who actually experienced war, what worries you most?
Saying something insensitive without realizing it.
That fear shows empathy.
But what should you say first?
Many people simply say, I'm glad you're safe.
That feels right.
Safety is universal language.
But what if they want to talk more?
Then you listen and follow their lead.
Follow their lead. That sounds like dancing.
Conversation often is,
I like that idea.
because forcing direction breaks trust.
I think I finally understand something.
What is it?
Talking about war in English isn't about explaining war.
Then what is it about?
It's about acknowledging humanity when words feel insufficient.
That realization changes everything.
But there's still one thing I struggle with.
What's that?
What do you say when someone asks you a direct question like, whose side are you on?
That question changes the energy of a conversation immediately.
Yes. Suddenly it feels like a test instead of a discussion.
Because it pushes you toward choosing certainty.
And sometimes I don't feel certain at all.
Then honesty is still your safest response.
But if I say, I'm not sure, won't people think I'm avoiding the question?
Not if you explain your feeling. You can say, I care more about people being safe than choosing sides.
That sounds calm, not defensive.
Calm language lowers emotional tension.
I realize something funny.
What's funny?
We spend years learning English grammar, but nobody teaches how to survive emotionally difficult conversations.
Emotional fluency is rarely taught.
Emotional fluency. I like that.
It means knowing how to express thoughts without escalating conflict.
I've noticed native speakers sometimes disagree very gently.
Yes, they soften disagreement.
Like saying, I see your point, but I feel differently.
Exactly. That sentence protects the relationship while expressing opinion,
Relationships matter more than winning arguments.
especially when discussing painful topics.
I once watched two friends talk about war. One had strong opinions, the other just listened and asked questions.
Which one seemed wiser?
The listener.
Listening signals respect.
I think English learners fear silence because they think they must constantly speak.
But silence often communicates thoughtfulness.
So if someone shares a heavy story, it's okay to pause before responding?
More than okay. It shows you're processing.
That makes conversations feel slower, but deeper.
Depth requires time.
You know what surprises me?
Tell me,
Even when people disagree strongly about war, they often share the same emotional core.
safety, loss, fear.
Yes, everyone worries about families.
Human concerns are universal even when political views differ.
Maybe conversations become easier when we focus on shared fears instead of different opinions.
That's a powerful shift.
I used to think a good English meant having strong statements.
Many learners think that.
Now I feel good English might be gentle honesty.
Gentle honesty creates trust.
Can I admit something slightly embarrassing?
Always.
Sometimes when serious topics appear, I change the subject because I'm afraid of emotional weight.
That's self-protection.
But afterward, I feel shallow.
Avoidance protects you temporarily, but disconnects you emotionally.
So balance is important.
Yes, you can acknowledge difficulty without carrying the entire emotional burden.
Maybe saying, this topic is heavy for me, is acceptable.
Very natural English.
I like how that sentence allows honesty without pretending strength.
Vulnerability invites real connection.
Do you think people secretly want deeper conversations but don't know how to start them?
I think many people are waiting for permission.
Permission to be real?
Exactly.
War conversations seem to remove small talk completely.
Because reality becomes unavoidable.
No one talks about weather when emotions are intense.
True.
But I wonder, why do people feel emotionally connected to conflicts happening far away?
Humans naturally imagine themselves in other situations.
Empathy travels faster than geography.
Beautifully said.
Sometimes I feel sadness for people I will never meet.
That sadness reflects shared humanity.
Yet, at the same time, life continues normally around me.
That contrast can feel strange.
Drinking coffee while somewhere else people are hiding from danger feels unreal.
That awareness often creates quiet gratitude mixed with guilt.
Yes, gratitude and guilt together.
Complex emotions rarely fit simple language.
Maybe that's why conversations about war sound slow and careful.
People search for words that won't reduce suffering into slogans.
I've noticed people often say, there are no winners.
Because even victory carries loss.
That sentence always feels heavy.
War reshapes everyone involved, even observers.
Observers too?
Yes, repeated exposure changes how we see the world.
I think news consumption affects emotional language.
Definitely.
Some people become angry, others become numb.
Emotional fatigue.
I felt that once. After watching too much news, I stopped feeling anything.
Numbness is the mind's way of protecting itself.
But then I worried something was wrong with me.
It's a common response.
So, in English conversation, it's okay to say, I'm overwhelmed by all this.
That's honest and relatable.
I like how simple sentences carry deep meaning.
Simplicity often feels sincere.
You know what changed my perspective recently?
What happened?
I saw an interview with someone who had escaped conflict. The interviewer asked political questions, but the person kept talking about missing home.
Home is emotional, not political.
They described missing the smell of morning bread from their neighborhood.
Small details make loss real.
That moment made war feel personal instead of historical.
Stories humanize events.
Maybe when we talk about war in English, storytelling is more natural than analysis.
Humans connect through stories.
I realize now that asking, how are people living, feels more human than asking, who is winning.
Language reveals values.
Do you think people sometimes argue about war because they're secretly afraid?
Fear often disguises itself as certainty.
That explains aggressive conversations online.
Strong opinions can be emotional armor.
Emotional armor. That sounds accurate.
When people feel powerless, certainty provides control.
But real conversation requires lowering that armor.
Yes, which feels risky.
I'm starting to understand why many people avoid these discussions.
Emotional risk.
Yet avoiding them also feels like ignoring reality.
Humans constantly balance awareness and emotional safety.
If a friend tells you they're worried about war, what's the most natural response?
You might say, yeah, it's been on my mind too.
That sounds comforting.
Shared concern reduces isolation.
I think that's what listeners want. Not perfect English, shared humanity.
Exactly.
Sometimes I imagine future conversations where people look back at difficult times and talk quietly instead of loudly.
Reflection softens language.
I wonder if every generation learns new emotional vocabulary because of conflict.
Language evolves with experience.
Maybe words like resilience become popular because people need hope.
Hope balances fear.
But hope in conversation sounds different from optimism.
Hope acknowledges difficulty while believing in survival.
That feels more realistic.
Realism builds trust.
You know what I've been thinking during this entire conversation?
What's on your mind?
Talking about war is actually talking about peace indirectly.
Explain that.
Every sentence about conflict secretly expresses a desire for peace.
That's profound.
Even arguments come from wanting a safer world.
Underneath arguments lies shared longing.
I feel calmer now than at the beginning of this episode.
What changed?
I realized I don't need perfect knowledge to participate in meaningful conversations.
You only need sincerity.
I wish listeners could feel this shift too.
They probably are.
I hope so.
Let me ask you something unexpected.
Okay.
Why do you think people remember conversations about serious topics longer than casual ones?
Because they reveal who we really are.
Exactly.
Small talk shows personality, serious talk shows values.
And values create lasting impressions.
I remember a conversation years ago where someone simply said, I hope children are safe. That sentence stayed with me.
Simple compassion leaves deep impact.
Maybe the goal of English conversation isn't impressive vocabulary.
It's emotional clarity.
Emotional clarity feels rare today.
Because speed replaces reflection.
This conversation feels slower than the internet.
Slowness allows understanding.
I think people secretly crave slower conversations.
Especially about heavy subjects.
Do you ever worry that talking about war makes people sad?
Sadness isn't always harmful.
How so?
Sometimes sadness connects us to what truly matters.
That makes sense.
Avoiding sadness can also mean avoiding empathy.
I never thought of it that way.
Emotional depth expands awareness.
I'm noticing something inside myself right now.
What do you notice?
At the start, I was afraid of saying the wrong thing. Now I feel curious instead of afraid.
Curiosity transforms conversations.
Instead of thinking, what should I say? I'm thinking, what can I understand?
That shift changes everything.
Maybe the best English speakers aren't the fastest talkers.
They're the best listeners.
I feel like we're slowly arriving somewhere meaningful.
Conversations often arrive quietly.
But there's still a question I keep thinking about.
What question?
After all this, what does talking about war actually teach us about ourselves?
I think it teaches us what we value when comfort disappears.
That sounds serious.
It is. War conversations reveal priorities people normally hide.
Like, what matters beyond daily routines?
Yes, when people talk about conflict, they suddenly talk about family, safety, home, belonging.
Things we usually take for granted.
Exactly.
I notice nobody says, I hope people keep their schedules. They say, I hope people survive.
Survival simplifies values.
Maybe that's why these conversations feel emotionally honest. There's no space for pretending.
Crisis removes masks.
I think I understand now why listeners feel uncomfortable at first.
Because the topic forces self-reflection.
While talking about others, we quietly examine ourselves.
Yes, we ask invisible questions. What would I do? How would I react?
I've imagined that before. Packing one bag, leaving home.
And what did you feel?
Confusion. I didn't even know what I would take.
That thought experiment alone changes perspective.
I suddenly realized how attached I am to small things. Photos, books, familiar streets.
Home is emotional memory, not just a location.
That explains why people say they miss ordinary sounds more than big landmarks.
Ordinary life becomes precious when threatened.
Talking about war makes ordinary life feel extraordinary.
Awareness sharpens gratitude.
But it also creates fear.
True, awareness and fear often arrive together.
I used to avoid thinking about global conflicts because I wanted to feel safe.
Emotional distance can feel protective.
But ignoring reality didn't actually make me calmer. It just made me disconnected.
Connection sometimes requires discomfort.
You know what surprised me during this conversation?
What surprised you?
I expected we would discuss history or politics. Instead, we talked about emotions almost the entire time.
Because emotional language is how people naturally speak about difficult subjects.
I feel like I finally understand how to join these conversations without pretending expertise.
That realization is important.
Instead of trying to sound informed, I can sound sincere.
And sincerity invites dialogue.
I think many listeners feel pressure to have strong opinions.
Social environments often reward certainty.
But today, I learned uncertainty can be respectful.
Saying, "I'm still learning," keeps conversation open.
Open conversations feel safer than closed arguments.
Openness allows empathy to grow.
Something else just came to my mind.
Tell me.
When people discuss war respectfully, they speak more slowly,
Slower speech reflects careful thinking.
almost like they're protecting the meaning of each word.
Words carry emotional weight in serious conversations.
I used to think fluency meant speaking fast.
Many learners believe that.
Now I think fluency might mean speaking thoughtfully.
Thoughtful language feels authentic.
I want listeners to know they don't need complicated vocabulary to express compassion.
Simple phrases often carry the strongest emotion.
Like, I hope things get better.
Or, "I'm thinking about them,"
Those sentences feel small but powerful.
because they acknowledge shared humanity.
I realized something interesting.
What is it?
Talking about war actually teaches peaceful communication.
Explain that idea.
You learn to listen carefully, avoid hurting others, respect experiences, choose words gently.
Those are foundations of peaceful dialogue.
So the conversation itself becomes an act of peace.
That's beautifully said.
I didn't expect this episode to feel calming.
Sometimes understanding reduces fear.
At the beginning, I felt nervous about saying the wrong thing.
And now?
Now I feel okay admitting I don't have answers.
Acceptance brings emotional relief.
I think many people secretly feel the same way, but don't say it.
Shared uncertainty connects people more than confident speeches.
You know what I'm realizing right now?
What realization?
Conversations about war are actually conversations about hope.
How so?
Every time we talk about suffering, we're also expressing a wish for a better future.
Hope hides inside concern.
Even sadness contains hope because we care enough to feel sad.
Indifference would mean emotional disconnection.
And people aren't indifferent. They feel deeply, even from far away.
Empathy doesn't require proximity.
I think listeners might notice something about themselves after this episode.
What do you think they'll notice?
That they already know how to talk about difficult topics. They just needed permission to be human.
Humanity is the universal language.
I like that sentence.
It's true across cultures and languages.
I'm curious, Tom.
Go ahead.
Do conversations like this change people?
Not instantly, but they plant quiet thoughts.
Thoughts that grow later?
Yes, maybe tomorrow someone listens more carefully. Maybe they respond more gently.
Small changes.
Small changes shape communication over time.
I remember earlier you said conversations can feel like dancing.
Yes,
Now it feels like we learned how to move without stepping on emotional toes.
that's a good description.
I used to avoid serious discussions because I feared conflict.
And now?
Now I see conversation as connection, not confrontation.
That shift transforms communication.
I think listeners might carry this feeling into their own conversations.
Hopefully with more patience and curiosity.
It's strange. We talked about war, but I feel more peaceful inside.
Understanding often reduces internal tension.
Maybe peace begins with how we speak to each other.
And how we listen.
If someone asks me tomorrow, "What do you think about war?" I know what I'll say.
What would you say?
I'd say, "I just hope people can live safely and go home someday."
That sounds deeply human.
Simple words, honest feeling.
Sometimes that's enough.
Actually, more than enough.
Conversations don't always need conclusions.
They just need understanding.
And presence.
I'm glad we talked about this.
Me too.
Not because we solved anything.
But because we shared the question together.
And maybe that's what meaningful English conversation really is.
Two people trying to understand the world without pretending certainty.
I think listeners might sit quietly after this episode,
Reflecting.
thinking about their own words, their own feelings.
That quiet reflection is part of the conversation too.
Funny how a topic that once scared me now feels important.
Growth often begins where discomfort exists.
I guess talking about war taught me how to talk about humanity.
And humanity is what language was always meant for.
Yeah,
Yeah.